In this video essay, I intend to explore the art and animation style of rotoscoping and all its uses in modern media and show how I will use it for my own project. Rotoscoping is a style of animation that commonly uses real-life reference footage. For example, a woman dancing. Then, the animator traces over the video frame by frame in whatever style that is needed and to varying levels of accuracy depending on how different they want the character to look, so that the animation can have a smooth, natural motion and proportions. Rotoscoping was first invented or used all the way back in 1915 by an animator by the name of Max Fleischer, who decided to use real footage to animate his character from the series Out of the Inkwell to make the movements more realistic and natural. They used the rotoscoping techniques for a few years until 1917, when the studio Max Fleischer was working at, Fleischer Studios, was granted a patent for the machine responsible for the success of the series Out of the Inkwell. That was called the rotoscope, that he created back in 1915. This machine helped in the production of lots of very profitable and popular shows for years, with one of the biggest being Popeye the Sailor. Rotoscoping was amazing for the animation industry because it simplified the whole animation process of drawing each frame hand by hand and relying just on your artistic skill to make a good looking animation to basically copying existing frames. The machine was made from a camera put up behind the animator's desk, which had a plate of glass that the camera would project the film footage onto. The animator would then be able to trace over the selected frame of the film on a piece of paper. The animator could control which frame was being projected with a combination of pulleys to switch between frames. An incredibly unique example of rotoscoping is the 2006 film A Scanner Darkly, starring Keanu Reeves. This film was completely shot digitally with everything needed for a normal looking film. Then in post-production, a team of animators drew over every frame to give it its very unique look of being live action but also animated, which was a first for the film industry. Although it did not do amazing in the box office, making only 5.5 million while taking 8.7 million to make, the audience and critic scores were good with a 68% tomato meter rating and a 74% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Some people will be surprised to hear this, but if they're not too familiar with the term rotoscoping, but most of Disney's 1937 hit film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was rotoscoped. Take the huntsman who is sent to kill Snow White around the start. He is completely rotoscoped from live action footage that was put through the rotoscope machine we talked about earlier, and it shows. As if you compare the look and movements and even the proportions of the huntsman to the Seven Dwarfs, you can easily see which one is more based in reality. Not because they're dwarves, but the animation style, obviously. The same goes for Snow White and the Evil Queen, who are distinctly more realistic for cartoon characters compared to the dwarves again. With the college year slowly wrapping up, I am trying to piece together my final project, which will be a short animation made in MS Paint. Yeah, MS Paint. I definitely wasn't inspired by that one online series, I don't know what you're on about. My shorts will follow a yet-to-be-named protagonist travelling through the desert in his van with some bumps along the way. But that's all I've got so far. Anyway, I plan to use a combination of live-action footage and clips from the game I am basing it off, The Long Drive, for rotoscoping, as my freehand art skills are not top-notch. But this should add to the animation style of being slightly strange and goofy, but also keeping a familiar link to the game.